Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of aMillionortheMoon. We have massive news from Richard Hart as of recent, which has got me very excited. Because, folks, for those of you who don't know, on this channel, we're called aMillionortheMoon for a reason. We're trying to go from very much not having a million, having far less than a million, to making it, folks. Getting that financial freedom. In that effort, we have, been trying to focus and trying to find what factors in crypto lead to finding projects with not only longevity but high ROI potential. And I do believe that I've found the next set of projects and products that can get me and hopefully many other people financial freedom. And so that's why over the last couple months we've made a hard turn focusing on PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex, among other things, because of the tremendous opportunity here. And it's not just tremendous opportunity here, folks. It's extreme high quality paired with early opportunity, paired with the dichotomy of the rest of the crypto industry still not having realized what's going on in this space. And so, folks, look, we have major PulseChain news, we have major PulseX news. I'll even touch on some Hex T at the end of the video. So if you like the sound of that, do me you a favor, like and subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. And without further ado, let's delve into the massive news that recently came out, because you can now check your balances if you sacrifice for PulseChain and PulseX. I'll show you how to do it. So let's delve into it. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Folks, listen up. We got PulseChain news. We got Block Explorer news. We got PulseX news. We got Bridge news. We got Faucet news. We got testnet document news. We have Hex news. We have Hadron news. We have sack phase news. There's so much news to cover that I, in fact, do not think I will make this video long enough in order to cover all the news. So let's start talking about the important stuff. Folks, Richard made quite the Twitter thread little while ago. All right, and so what you can now do is you can add this stuff to your MetaMask or whatever wallet you sacked from. Most of y'all probably sacked from MetaMask, and then see your official balance in your MetaMask wallet. All right, so folks, look, here's a link. I'm gonna leave a link for this down in the description below. Go to testnet docs, it'll bring you to this page, and then all you have to do is simply open up your MetaMask, go to add a network, it'll bring you to this page, and then you simply copy and paste all this good stuff into here. You was your mess, ayy. Can't keep my pants, ayy. My sister don't love me no more, ayy. She kicked me out on live road, ayy. That's don't wanna be friends, ayy. Okay, I think this is not working because I've already added this network to my MetaMask wallet. But then you would simply click save, and then you can take a look at your account. And then if you're a broke pleb like me, you can see a 0 PLSX. Folks, this is just a donation address, so there's no real activity going on here in this wallet. Now, something you could also do if you scroll down here, you can go to the Faucet page where you can link your MetaMask and connect it, put all this stuff, and then you can request getting some free TPLS. I already did this. So if we take a look at my wallet, we have some free TPLS. And this is interesting because if we go all the way to the PulseX UX user interface, for those uninitiated, we can see that this is in fact how it will look like. Ladies and genitals, look at this. Oh, we're so close. Oh man, we're such nerds to people who aren't into crypto, but you know what, man, fuck it, because this shit's gonna get me out the hood. Alright, so folks, look. So we just connect our wallet right here. Alright, I'm pretty sure I should be able to swap some PLS for PulseX here. Let me see. Ooh. Okay, I don't want to swap all of it. I want to swap maybe 1,000. Alright, let's see how long this takes. I'm interested to see. Alright. Ooh. This is actually my first transaction on the testnet in front of you guys. So exciting stuff. All right. Oh, look at that. All right, folks. Interesting. Now, guys, in terms of updated strategy as well, because look, I saw many people are deliberating as to how to accumulate more PulseChain. Look, a lot of people, didn't sack as much or didn't sack at all to PulseChain, and therefore went extra heavy into PulseX to try and maybe swap some PulseX over to PulseChain. But look, guys, in my opinion, unless you believe that PulseChain will outperform PulseX by orders of magnitude, then I think it's highly risky to swap some PulseX to accumulate more PulseChain. I mean, what I've been doing in order to accumulate more PulseChain is participating in sacrifices such as liquid loans, such as internet money, dividend, in order to accumulate more PulseChain. But aside from that, folks, something you can do, and something I will be doing here, is instead of selling your PulseX for PulseChain, where you don't know what kind of ratio you're going to get, and you're kind of gambling as to whether or not PulseX will outperform or PulseChain will outperform PulseX, you don't really know. I mean, there's some very good arguments that the opposite might happen. So instead of doing all that, I will be staking my PulseX and using the superior staking rewards, the very likely higher staking rewards that you'll get through staking PulseX, and use whatever the incentive token ends up being called, sell that, use that to buy more PulseChain, stake that PulseChain, and only ever live off the interest. So in my opinion, folks, this is a much safer strategy to accumulate more PulseChain. Either if you don't like sacrifices such as liquid loans or IMD, well, then this is another option, which is what I'll be doing. Staking my PulseX, using the staking rewards to go and buy more PulseChain, leaving my initial bag alone, and then I don't have to gamble on trying to find the best ratio or gamble on of PulseChain outperforming PulseX, which nobody knows for sure, folks. There's even good arguments that the opposite might happen. So that's personally what I'm doing. I want to throw my 2 cents out there. Now, we also have the bridge up and running where you can connect your wallet. Here we go. And you'll be able to bridge assets over from the Ethereum network onto the PulseChain network. Super interesting. Now, I'm not entirely sure how liquidity providing will work on Ethereum versus ERC20 versus PRC20 pairs, because one thing I might want to do, and another option for people who are interested in gaining a yield on their hex, but isn't so interested on staking long term, I'm talking to Messin. Something you could do is provide liquidity for PHEX and EHEX, and therefore your risk of impermanent loss, which is the greatest risk when it comes to providing liquidity aside from smart contract risk, is greatly mitigated. Because folks, to briefly explain to you guys what the major risk is when providing liquidity, is that whenever you provide liquidity, you provide two sides of a pair. $100 worth of USDC, $100 worth of Ethereum. And the problem is, whenever one of those pairs moves more than the other, whenever you go to withdraw, you get less of whatever pair moved more back. So that's the risk of impermanent loss. Whatever moves more, you get less of that thing back. That's the risk. That's why you get paid such a high APY. But if you're providing liquidity on Ethereum Chainlink and PulseChain Chainlink, well, then theoretically the risk of a permanent loss should be much less because they're the same asset, and maybe one will trade at a premium over the other, but it's kind of hard to see them trading at an extreme difference, especially given something like Hex, which is likely to be much more liquid. Will there be a premium on PulseChain Hex? Maybe, but I don't think it's entirely unreasonable to speculate that Hex on Ethereum and Hex on PulseChain will be a similar price. And so if you provide liquidity for PRC20 Hex and ERC20 Hex, while the risk of impermanent loss isn't gone, it's vastly mitigated. So that's something else I will personally be doing with my liquid Hex if I have any. I'm currently 100% staked out, but I'm buying Hex all the time whenever I can. So that's another option as well. Now, in terms of where you can find the PLSX smart contract to add to your MetaMask so you can see your PLSX in your wallet, I will leave a link for this tweet down in the description below so you guys can copy, paste this, go to your MetaMask, import tokens, paste that here, and then there you go. Now, something else that was interesting, I've been seeing a lot of this party coin PRT all over the place, and I'm not too sure what this thing is. I'm very interested. Nobody knows for sure what this thing is. People are saying this is a placeholder name for the incentivization token, but I don't believe that's the case because we also see the incentive token here as well. So what the fuck is this party coin? Anyways, guys, the informative part of this video is now over, I believe. Now I'm just kind of speculating with you guys as to what the hell is going on here. So we have PulseX, we have the incentive coin, but then what is this party coin that nobody knows of? So I don't know, folks. Anyways, before we wrap up the video, why don't we briefly touch on some Hex and Hadron TA, because I believe they're at a very similar level, which is Hadron and Hex are both testing an inflection point, which is a previously established range of support/resistance. That's being 12 cents for Hex, and for Hadron, 0.50 and then 3.5. So if Hadron can start to get, I would say 4 hours closing above a higher high above this red resistance zone, then we can have a conversation of some hopium and perhaps a downtrend reversing, after something of a descending channel slash trendline breakout. So if we spend time above that red trend line, above this red resistance zone, then we can have some. Then we can drink some hopium hots. Then we can drink some hopium juice once we see a bit more bullish confirmation with Hadron. I've also started to dollar cost average my way into Hadron because I really like the utility of this thing, as well as Hex here, folks. Hex keeps confirming for us that 12 cents is a relevant base of support slash resistance. See, we broke out, came back down to retest it, found support, broke down. Now we're getting rejected off 12 cents. Folks, 12 cents is the inflection point. For X to be bullish, I want this thing to maintain above 12 cents. The longer this thing spends below 12 cents, the more bearish this looks, and the more realistic 10 and then 6 cents starts to look the more time we spend below 12 cents. Is this the final capitulation move down before the recovery? Who knows, folks? So far we got macro lower highs and lower lows, so the picture is quite bearish, and I do indeed favor the bears in the short term, definitely not the long term, but in the short term, the bears are slightly favored to win out, especially if we cannot flip 12 cents. Once we can flip 12 cents, then we can start smoking some of that hopium juice, but until then, it's just hopium. Folks, follow our Twitter. There's links for everything down in the description below. Become a VIP Discord member if you want to support us and help us survive until PulseChain comes out. There's a link for that down in the description below. If you join our VIP Discord group, you get access to what I'm buying, what I'm selling, my portfolio, that kind of thing. None of it's financial advice, so don't you go and try and sue me, but it's just what I'm up to. Links for everything down in the description below. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads, especially if you are pro hydration and if you are anti-fat phobic. Until next time, folks, take care.
I took a watch the store, box, that little got a throat full. I like the rock, but I'm misfit. My emo like a wrist slit. Curly hair like I'm poor, pink. Got like three, like I'm more, man. On your man, forehead. Don't want your just want.
Hey man, look, I'm just calling to apologize here because look, I saw our most recent video, and I saw what people were saying in the comments, and frankly, it's true. Like, I think, I don't want my good looks to detract from like the video and its content. Like, if you just compare and contrast me and you, I'm showing up fresh, right? Like, I'm showing up to par. And I just think there's a bit of a dichotomy there, a bit of a contrast that people are noticing. And I'm just calling you to debate, how do we address this moving forward, right? I don't want my good looks detracting from the content. You know what I mean?
What did they say? I was really paying attention.
Well, it's just the same old, right? It's the same stuff I've been hearing all my life. He's so good looking. He's so fresh. He's so intelligent. How could he put up with someone like Messin? And I don't want you seeing any of this, right? I don't want you feeling this. So I'm just calling you to see if we can brainstorm ideas as to how we can deal with this moving forward. I don't know how to make myself look worse, right? It's so difficult.
That's true. That's with you being 350 pounds. Imagine.
Hey man, fat. Are you fat phobic? Fat has nothing to do. Beauty is what's on the inside.
You went on a tangent for 10 minutes. I gotta throw in something. I don't know. I gotta has to happen.
Well, that's very fat phobic of you.